Okay, response to comments on my response to Inmendum video. So we got self-immolator. Anyhow, he says, or she, are you politically active in trying to change your laws in your state? Well, it's not my laws, it's the laws, whatever. If enough people in your state agree and show up to vote for people who share your view, pot will be legal, right? Well, yeah, but the point is, the law shouldn't have been made in the first place. They used fraudulent means to make that law. That's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, if enough people say it should stay illegal, then it's going to stay illegal. But it shouldn't be illegal in the first place. I mean, this is after Prohibition failed. Right? Prohibition failed, yet they think they're going to get different results by just, writing a law. I mean, they had to write an amendment to the Constitution to prohibit alcohol, and they just write some law doing basically the same thing to pot. And they expect different results? Or what? I mean, I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to try and change a stupid law. I should be able to go to court and say, hey, this law is stupid. Nullify it. Yeah. So Trick says, citing bad laws does not mean laws and law enforcement should be abandoned. I don't think I said it should, but the thing is, the bad laws, we shouldn't have to fight to change the bad laws. Because they shouldn't have been made laws in the first place. But they're made laws in the first place because we give power to imbeciles who just they have the power to make law. I mean, law should be fairly simple. Do no harm. Don't threaten to harm. Smoking pot does no harm to anybody. Doesn't threaten harm to anybody. I'd say it's less than alcohol. I mean, if you're going to allow people to drink alcohol, like I said, I think I said it in my response to Contro Phil, I can fill my shopping cart with enough booze. I said this in the video before. I think in this video, I don't know, maybe the one to Trick, I said it, but I can fill my shopping cart with enough booze to kill an elephant, and that's okay. But if I have one viable seed, I'm a felon in the state of Arizona. It's just ridiculous. And it's not just rulers making bad laws, but the people who support such at the time. Exactly. I mean, that's the whole problem. I mean, we live in a society that is controlled. Manufacturing of consent. Our consent is manufactured by the people with power. And it shouldn't be that way. Like I say, if majority of people support marijuana being illegal, it's going to stay illegal, even though it shouldn't be. I think most of the people in prison are in there for drug laws. It's silly. For marijuana laws, it came down to really bad ideas. Well, not just bad ideas, outright lies that were attached to questionable studies about associated violent crimes, exportation problems, the Geneva Trafficking Conventions, Pure Food and Drug Act, and numerous other reasons that led to laws surrounding the drug. To the laws surrounding the drug, people supporting that position. Well, hell, I mean, Nixon commissioned a study, and they came back with this stuff's relatively harmless, and I think Nixon literally threw the report in the trash and went ahead with his drug war. So this is bullshit. Anyhow, going on. Today, most of these ideas are being debunked, and people are working hard to change the laws. Well, like I say, we shouldn't have to work hard to change this stupid law. It should be really simple. You should be able to go to court and say this law sucks. Strike it down. Judge. Be a judge. Don't be a paper pusher. The important part is that it is the people, in quotes, who actually have a say over if these laws change or not. See, that's the whole problem. If enough people say the law shouldn't change, it's not going to change, and people are going to get fucked. Not some authoritative rule maker. But it is the authoritative rule maker that made the rule. Because, they had a bunch of people, probably from the Prohibition days, that needed a job, Anyhow, going on. The rule makers are controlled by lobbying and votes, not the other way around. Is that supposed to... What's your point? The main problem is that people are often too lazy or to try to change a law they don't like. Well, we shouldn't have to try to change the laws. It's not so much that they don't like it, it's not rational. It's not a rational law. Period. It does no harm. I mean, life sucks. Pot makes it better. But some jerk-offs back in the 1940s decided that whatever they decided, well, you know, it was racist. So all drug laws are based on putting races they don't like in prison. Anyhow, going on. Rather, they'll just complain about it and blame it on the rule makers, when in reality the rule makers are just a means to an end. Yeah, to imprison the surplus population, because there's some people that, you know, we just don't need. We only need so many people to get wealthy, so these extra people will just make laws so we can put them in jail. And I see these laws changing fairly fast as states start to legalize marijuana since 2012. Yeah, after decades of a bullshit law. As with any outdated law, well, I mean, it was outdated from the get-go. It was just a bad law. I mean, it should have been obvious. We already tried prohibition. It didn't work. I mean, really. Going on. They eventually changed for the better. Hence the power of democracy. Well, see, democracy is how it got in the first place. Well, it's not really democracy, though. See, I'm bad-mouthing democracy, but we don't really live in a democracy, at least in the United States. I don't think there's a real democracy anywhere. It's representative democracy. Anyhow, in broadband internet, which allows people to easily find information, and is only a little over 20 years old, very new. Fine and dandy, but like I say, the law shouldn't have been put in place in the first place. Anyhow, but yes, we need to convince people of a position for a law to change. Doesn't have to. Should be able to argue it in court. I mean, like the Kevorkian case, they had on the wall, common law is reason, which is not true, but still, at least they're trying to say that they're going to use reason in the courtroom, right? Which they should. Reason should be supreme in the courts. Anyhow, there simply isn't a better well, you can't just say there simply... I've said this before. Make the courts a place of reason, where a person can present a reasonable argument and drop the law in court, or change the law in court. Like with the... I mean, they convicted Kevorkian of second-degree murder when it wasn't murder. They should have just... The law should have been changed right there in court. Anyhow. And dropping laws altogether is the worst of ideas. Who said anything about dropping laws? I mean, you know, if the law is reasonable, don't drop it. Like law against murder. There's no rational argument against. There's no rational argument for dropping the law against murder. Murder's bad. Okay. Assault's bad. Smoking a joint is not. Anyhow, people who criticize the process need to come up with a better alternative than an absurd free market Wild West scenario. Well, I mean, you know, absurd free market. I mean, define free market. I mean, you know, the free marketers like to use that word free a lot. It's not, nothing's free. Anyhow. Okay, now, Blue Sphere, not on the topic of the video, yet I wonder why you bother carrying on with living. Now, he's asking honestly, because he's not trying to catch me. Yeah, you're still alive. He's not doing that. He sincerely wants to know why I don't kill myself. Well, I'll answer that after I finish this comment. I also have antinatalist views and wish all life as we know it never occurred, but I hope to end mine soon, probably using phenobarbital. I am, quote, young, unquote. Be honest, does it feel worth it to live on just to observe the world around you and to attempt to prevent further suffering beings from coming into existence? Well, I mean, I was deep in delusion. I got a wife and a kid. I got an ex-wife. I got a current wife. I got a kid. Oh, he's an adult now, but still, it'd be kind of fucked up. I mean, my wife's sister killed herself, and that was not a pleasant experience for anybody involved in the situation. I mean, I didn't want my sister-in-law to kill herself. I kind of like, that's the thing. I mean, if I were just to, I don't know where I get a hold of any phenobarbital, but if my wife comes in and finds me dead, and empty bottle of pills, that's kind of fucked up. If I just drop dead, that's one thing. But it's like it'd be a slap in the face to her. So you basically got to kill her first, right? Then kill me so that she wouldn't suffer from finding me dead. But then my son is going to find us both dead. So now I got to kill him first, and then kill my wife, and then kill me. And then my neighbors like my wife and my neighbors are really good friends. So now she's going to be upset. It's just fucked up. I don't think you or anybody should take suicide lightly. I mean, people with ALS, I mean, cut them some slack. I mean, don't kill yourself. People are going to be upset. They got ALS. I mean, cut them, or whatever serious disease you got where you're going to die slowly and painfully. You got to cut them some slack. But my wife shouldn't cut me some slack. I don't like living anymore. Well, I mean, I could just blow my brains out, and she's gonna find a bloody mess. It's just, it's fucked up. I mean, I don't know your situation, but don't take it lightly. It's kind of like, you don't know the ramifications of you killing yourself. It's kind of like antinatalism in that way. You bring a kid into existence, you don't know what's going to happen to that kid. Just like if you kill yourself, you don't know the ramifications of what's going to happen when you kill yourself. I mean, once you're here, it's different than not being here ever. I mean, if I had never been born, my wife never would have met me. She might be better off if she never met me, and vice versa. But here we are. We've been together, 24 years. We actually still, even though all the shit we've been through, we still enjoy each other's company most of the time. So, whatever. That's, I guess that's my answer. That's all the comments I got. So, y'all take care.